It's your girl, Synth Silly Sai, or otherwise known as Ali ASMR. And today, for this video, I will be prepping my doll head for a wig install. I was looking at some of the extensions I have, and yesterday was a wash day. However, I'm tired of protective styles and having short hair, so I was thinking I could revive one of my old frontals or 360s. So it's between a 40-inch chocolate brown, 28-inch light brown, and a, I believe, 26 or 28 1B. So I'm thinking, I don't know, low-key every part of my being is thinking the 40-inch. However, I already know it'll constantly get tangled, and I don't want to always have to detangle my hair. I'd like it if it would just be there, you know, lay flat, lay in the style it's supposed to lay. And then the light brown is, it's an alright wig. I believe I took it off because it was too hot. I don't think the netting or, you know, the front of the wig had any issues. I'm really thinking I was just tired of wearing it once I had styled and worn it for, I don't know, however long I wore it, maybe a couple days, maybe a couple weeks. And then the 1B wig, I believe I've restored that wig before already, so it might be a little bit crispy on the strands, and that's also my concern. A lot of times when I either have worn a wig for a while or have stored a wig for a while, the texture of the hair is a little bit different. Obviously it's more worn in, and most of my wigs are real hair wigs, so the breakage is like, you know, normal hair would have breakage. With the synthetic wigs, it isn't as noticeable, the breakage, but I am thinking, well, I have noticed that some of them shed a little bit faster, or when they're all synthetic, they get itchy and uncomfortable. And then when they tangle and you detangle and pick out the knots, the damage is, it changes, one, the texture of the hair, but also it looks a little bit more patchy, but it also causes quicker knots. So anyways, we're gonna go ahead and prep this doll head so I could go ahead and place a wig cap on her and begin styling the wigs. So I haven't decided if this will be no talking, so once I edit this, yeah. So okay, first things first, braiding the hair back. This mannequin head actually is a mannequin head with real hair. Her name is Cassie, and we were introduced in one of my theory classes. I'm just playing. No, really, when I attended Paul Mitchell, the school for cosmetology, these are the doll heads that we were given as part of our kits. I can't remember how many. However, they were all doll heads with real human hair for the purpose of styling, washing, dyeing, perming, lightening or lifting color, and long story short, technique. After sitting through a period of writing notes about theory, hair theory, meaning terminology, vocab, the steps of certain hair treatments and techniques and hair services, along with the different types of salons and how they go about styling hair, styling and I guess treating hair. Because when you go and see your stylist, she isn't, or he, they aren't only styling your hair, they aren't only washing your hair, and they aren't only providing one service, they're also checking the condition of your hair. They're also observing and keeping notes of, well, if you've visited them more than once, they're also keeping track of the growth of your hair, the change. That's kind of how people grow with their stylist. It's always recommended that once you have a stylist, stay with them, because they're practically like your hat. And what I mean by that is they grow with you and your hair growth. They're looking at the different stage that your hair is in every appointment. They're looking at how well you're treating your hair, how well your hair is reacting and acclimating to the services that are performed. It's kind of as if you have a nail tech or a guy who sells you fitted hats, right? Eventually, when you're a regular, they learn your sizing, they learn what you like, the designs that would fit your personality or your personal interests. They learn you. Same thing with your stylist. And also, sometimes, even though the theory of whatever service you're getting, the theory of a certain service or treatment for a hair service might, in general, suggest that certain results might be expected. Everybody is different, and everybody reacts differently to things. And sometimes, especially because cosmetology does involve mixing chemicals like hair dye, bleach, different hair products and things to either enhance or change the integrity of your hair or the look of your hair. Sometimes stuff happens and unexpected results may vary. So keeping your stylist is very important, because they could kind of gauge and place an accurate assumption of what your hair type and texture can handle, and what could benefit, as well as what could damage your hair. So it's always great to know that and be comfortable with somebody who knows what they're talking about when it has to do with your personal preferences or your personal needs as a client. So, anyways, and also, I've said all that to say I'm not a cosmetology student anymore and I never got my license. However, all the things that I've learned are very useful. And all my books and notes are here with me. So there is no like lost knowledge necessarily. You know, I have all of the materials, and it's great to brush up on some of the information sometimes because, you know, I mean, I don't personally like do any crazy wild changes to my hair. My hair is virgin hair and I've never dyed it, and I haven't permed it or chemically manipulated it since I was a child. And well, my mom, you know, I didn't perm my hair myself. But long story short, my hair is virgin. I don't manipulate it, dye it, change the color, change the integrity or the texture of it in any sort of way, other than styling. But all the information that I have on hand is great for anybody who's constantly maintaining their hair, you know, touch-ups, trying different styles, or even shortening their hair, you know, hair trims. Anyway, so we're going to braid the scalp hair first because I am firstly planning on placing the mannequin head in a wig cap so that while I'm styling the wig, her hairs aren't in the way or slipping through the wefts or seams or netting, you know, all the things that come with wigs. Okay. So if you don't know how to well, how do I want to say this? If you don't know how to Dutch or French braid and you're somebody who likes wearing wigs, I recommend learning. It's pretty simple. It's like braiding off the scalp. The only thing is you're grabbing hair as you're twisting the strands downward. It does get kind of confusing if you're trying a style where the braids are really small or precise. In that case, you probably want to opt for hair gel or some sort of braiding wax. And it's okay if you miss a notch or the braid gets kind of messy, as long as you keep an eye on where your hand placement is and what strands you're holding. It's possible to go back and re-notch part of the braid without having to undo the entire braid and start from the beginning. And like I said, our objective is to style a wig, so I don't have much concern for how neat this braid is. All I need is for it to be braided backward. It doesn't even have to be tight because I could clip it and it'll stay, and then just wrap it in a bang-to knot. So when I place the wig cap, it's flat. And that's so important because when it has to do with hairstyling, hair cutting, orientation, or position is so important because it could literally cause a huge difference. If you're booking for a like dyeing or color lifting service, usually they'd have to come back anyways, because whenever you perform a service like that, you always want a patch of hair to perform a strand test on. What a strand test is self-explanatory. That is a test on their hair strands. It could be like a test for some sort of product you're recommending to change the pattern of their hair, or if they are getting a color lift service, checking to see if the bleach will change the composition of their hair strands completely, or just do what it's supposed to do and lighten the hair or lift. There are some times where some individuals lie to their stylist, or their hair is in a more damaged condition than observed during the consultation. And always, this is just a rule of thumb, like a little footnote. If you're going to a consultation and your stylist doesn't rub their hands through your head and they don't actually touch you, that isn't a consultation. Go somewhere else. Because in order for them to actually determine a little bit more about your hair and what is possible to do or style on it, they need to feel the texture of your hair. They need to look at your scalp, look at the conditions of your scalp, look at the conditions of your hair, the hair shafts, the follicles, the ends. So the purpose of the strand test, especially for like color lift services, is to check whether your hair takes the mixture, and the mixture actually, like I had mentioned, does its job and lifts the color from your original hair color or your current hair color. And the alternative to that, or the not so great result of a strand test, is placing color lift or a lightener. I'm describing it more ways than just one because some people have different terminology for what I'm talking about. So I just want to make sure everybody watching this understands what I'm referring to. But yeah, pretty much it's the initial check to make sure that once you place that hair or color lightener or hair color lifter, that your hair strand doesn't become tacky like over chewed gum. And I'm describing it how it actually like looks when your hair is in a state of severe damage and breakage, or you've over manipulated your hair, or you're attempting another service or treatment on your hair before it's repaired. I was about to say healed, like it's a person. Before it's healed and repaired itself. Sometimes your hair literally just can't absorb whatever product you're putting on it, or it could have like a bad reaction to the type of chemical mixture, hair lift, bleach, whatever, treatment. And of course, no stylist wants to perform a service and treat hair. No stylist wants to perform a service or treat hair, and then, somewhere in the midst of doing their job, your hair's starting to fall out or it becomes gummy, and, like super, it's not even elastic anymore. It's more so just like putty, like stretched putty on your scalp. A lot of times that happens when people bleach their hair too much or bleach their hair after recently dyeing their hair multiple times. And a lot of individuals sometimes have hair products that cancel each other out. So when they think that whatever home products they're using on their hair will be what is needed for every type of treatment or for every type of dye they put on their hair, sometimes because of brands or just because of ignorance with their hair type and hair condition, they could potentially hasten the process of their hair getting damaged, losing elasticity, becoming gummy, breaking, falling out. And a lot of the times too, like, it depends on the person's lifestyle, of course, because nobody's perfect. Everybody has their own hairstyles, hair textures, condition of their hair. Some people can pay no mind to their hair and do whatever the hell they want to it, and it turns out great. It's fine. The result is always, what they were hoping for. Other people, they're so fragile with their hair, and for some reason, it just won't, it won't style the way they like, or it won't grow right, or they can't feel comfortable with how it lays near their face, or how it doesn't, or how short it is, how thick it is, how thin it is, where their hairline is. They don't like their part. So many different things. So like when you got to be wary of the fact that when you go in a salon and have a stylist, hairstylist, observing your hair, giving you a consultation, but also telling you a little bit about the condition of your hair, it sounds like it's going to be very drastic, but you gotta remember that they've seen so many hair types and textures, so they're not telling you that your hair is flawed or anything. They're just telling you what they know about what they're looking at and what they've learned from their numerous hours of studying the different types of hair and what they're called, the different conditions of the hair, and how to identify what types of services are appropriate for what type of scalp they're looking at, what type of client they have, and what they're bringing into their chair. Understand? So yeah, so again, rounding back to the point, if this client was visiting for an appointment, and during a consultation, I observed her hair, I ran my hands through her hair, parted a couple places, looked at her scalp, looked at the condition of her scalp. You could let your clients know if, their scalps are dry, or if their hair is greasy. Ask them how often they wash their hair, what their normal routine is, how much gel do they put in their hair or other hair products, creams, mousses, detanglers, do they wash and go? Do they thoroughly dry their hair, blow dry, towel? Do they wear bonnets? Do they often wear hats? A lot of a lot of a lot of the way that they live their everyday life could help with your observation of the condition of their hair and scalp. And an example of that is, say this client, her hair should be one length, but near the crown and the top of her hair or the top of her head, there's a lot of breakage. It's very frizzy, and there's significant amounts of split ends. So, say she's supposed to have one length, but that's the condition of her hair, as I just described. And I'm the stylist, and I ask her, "Do you wear hats?" And she answers, "Yes, I wear hats." I could explain to her and educate her, "Hey, so I've noticed as I'm looking at your hair during this consultation that there is a significant amount of breakage at the crown or during the top of your hair or at the top of your hair." Um, and further explain, one cause of this could possibly be how often you're wearing a hat because of the friction of the material of the hat against your hair. That could possibly be one of the causes of why you have so much breakage towards the top of your head, why there's so many split ends, and why your hair is a little bit uneven in that way. Um, and a lot of times it'll make a lot of sense. It's like you're placing all the puzzle pieces back together for them. Sometimes they're like, "You know what, I didn't even think about that, and I keep wondering why my hair is getting shorter, or like why one day I'm able to put it in a slick back ponytail, and then the next day I need bobby pins or I need haircuts." Okay, parte dos. Part two. Um, I had lost my patience and actually had chosen the, I think this is 26 inches, the 1B. Or actually, this is kind of like, well, yeah, no, it's 1B. 1B, or like, I want to say black. Because it doesn't look like brown like 1B is, you know? But, anyways, I styled this one, and then I didn't trim anything. I just reshaped the lace or the netting, and then reparted like a schmiddle part, and then I have a wavy talk. I have a wavy talk flat iron that is also like, it steams your hair and has ceramic plates. I think it's less damage than a normal flat iron because of the like the moisture from the steam once you like press the plates together. You could also change the setting if you want to like flatten your hair as if it's a normal flat iron. But anyways, yeah. So the curls didn't hold like I hoped they would. I wouldn't even say like I assumed they would, because I didn't assume it would hold a curl really, unless I sprayed hairspray, and I didn't want to I didn't want to spray hairspray because I didn't want to ruin it and have it break a lot quicker than it would without all the heavy hair products in it. So I just left them and let them fall on their own. And I mean, the curls lasted for a while. It is also hot and humid in California, so sweating definitely. And I took a nap, and when I woke up, there was still some wave to it. So yeah. Anyways, so instead of styling the unit that I was planning on styling on myself, I have another one. This one. This is the one that I was talking about. That's like a light brown. This isn't the chocolate wig. That one is over there and will be styled in another video. But so far, hold on, I need to turn the microphone down because I feel like I'm silently yelling. 1 second. Okay. I couldn't. Alright. Okay. Sorry about that. I will edit that part so it's at a lower volume. I'd forgotten this is an ASMR video, and I have a fan running in the background, so I could hear the like in my free ear, and then my voice is echoing in this ear with the earphone in. It's directly connected to the microphone, so just hang in there with me. Excuse me. I'm trying my best at balancing the sound quality with not having like a program or whatever to edit videos. Anyway, so back to the task at hand. I've already pre-combed the hair out and detangled. There's a lot that I want to do to adjust this wig, but for the sake of time, because it's actually kind of late at night, it's almost 10 or 11, and I gotta clock in tomorrow to my 9 to 5, 5 to 9, whatever time I'm at work. You'll never know. Anyways, yeah, I gotta clock in there tomorrow, so I need my beauty sleep. I think the most I'll do for this video, because honestly, I'm also better at styling wigs when they're actually like on my head for sizing and styling purposes. So it's kind of difficult to style it on this mannequin. Also, Cassie now has a ski mask because she's gang. I love it. I love this color. Anyways, she looks great, right? Anyways, it's so funny. She looks like she's dressed to like live inside of an igloo. Or like she's going to a trip in Big Bear during the winter. So I think the most that I will do today is I kind of want to flat iron this wig low-key, but I also do want to readjust the part. But the problem is I'm unsure where I want the part because it is a movable part type wig. So I also considered possibly cutting bangs because I'm cute with bangs, you know? So, haven't given much thought to like the style, but I did think about what I want to do with the length. And honestly, it looks as if, hold on, if you could see it, it looks as if the bottom is really thinned out and dry. And I think when I had worn this wig before, I didn't layer it, but I had trimmed the front in order to frame my face the way I wanted it framed. I'm really particular with my hairstyles. As I adjust my hairstyle. Usually I like layers. And I also like volume, but I also do like straight hair, not pin straight necessarily. I do like when it has a bit of like texture to it. I don't really like pin straight silky hair, honestly, on myself. Not really. It feels unnatural. And I like the look of like coarse textured hair, you know? I like the volume and like how thick and full it looks. I feel like pin straight hair, or like pin straight silky hair, sometimes it gives an illusion of like being thinner because of the like density, you know? But the way like pin straight hair frames my face, it rounds it more than I'd like. Hence, the reason I don't necessarily like pin straight hair. It you know, your hairstyle, how you choose to part your hair, the length, the style, it does change your features somewhat. Your hair does frame your face, and there are different techniques that a lot of salon stylists do in order to like personalize your hairstyle, but also kind of work from a like a specified type of hairstyle and then adjust it to your liking, you know? And sometimes, yes, they do mess up. Sometimes some hairstyles don't look like how they pictured that it would look, and some people really will lose their mind over a bad chop. So, the best advice I could give is have a reference picture. I don't have a reference picture because my reference is up here. It's all in the memory. I know how I like my hair on myself, but I'm also looking at this mannequin. So I will do my best attempts to style it with where it's at without completely fucking up my wig. And if I don't like the hairstyle, it's cool. I could just turn it into a bob or I don't know, practice. Dead. All right. So we also have a towel on the floor, okay? You always want to have a towel if you're cutting hair anywhere in your immediate vicinity where there's not enough space to like sweep it up without it getting caught in the flooring. We're standing on top of carpet right now, so if it were tile, different story. Okay, so I have these hair cutting shears. I have thinning shears left and right and straight. I did detangle with a wide tooth comb, but we're gonna go ahead and brush, 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 brush. I'm probably gonna edit all of that out too. All the talking parts, because why the fuck am I talking? I'm thirsty. That could have been a little bit more graceful if I had remembered a straw. gotta re-explain this all over again, or actually, scratch that. This is director's cut. So I just babbled on for a good 11 minutes about what my intentions are with this beautiful wig here. And upon realizing that I'm filming an ASMR video, I like saying ASMRs, like ASMR Mrs., you know, as Mrs., you know, because I'm not a Mister, so it feels wrong saying ASMR. When I read it back, it's like as Mister, and I'm a female, bitch. I'm a girl. So upon realizing I'm filming for my ASMR channel, I was like, I'm talking a lot. Long story condensed down into a shorter story. I will now be styling this wig. This is the wig that I was considering along with this wig that I'm wearing now, bitch. The first part of the video, I was actually wearing a headband wig that I had ordered off TikTok shop. And between then and when I went to sleep and woken up, I was like, well, might as well just style this one and put it on, because the headband wig, or the headband wig isn't practical. It's very long, it's tangled very easily. I don't like the part on it, and the headband is flimsy, loose, and isn't really supportive of the hairstyle. So that wasn't an option. So I grabbed the wig that I trust, that I know. This one, on the other hand, I think the last time I wore it, it was so stiff that there was no movement, hence why I wasn't wearing it anymore. And then I could already feel how dry it is at the bottom. I was looking also at the lace, and there's a lot of like patchy spots, and I don't think it's a good idea. Well, okay, scratch that from the record, strike through. I'd prefer if I could style this wig as I'm wearing it, because there's a difference between what it looks like on me versus what it looks like on the mannequin. And for looks purposes, my own comfortability, I just think it's a better idea, because your hair does frame your face. That's a fact. So if I'm styling a wig on a mannequin, then place it on myself, I might not like the angles, the measurements, the lengths, the parts, all the things. So let's be simplistic here. I could maybe just trim it up a little bit, but I also don't want to trim it on camera because, first of all, I never received my cosmetology license, so don't think I'm a professional hairstylist, and I don't want somebody copying my technique and thinking that it's even a technique in the first place, when I'm literally just like point cutting or, you know, randomly trimming, you know? I guess use your own discretion. Copy me if you want to. I wouldn't recommend it. Alright, so I'm gonna face this to the front. Another thing is this mannequin has a different shaped head. So the places where I might like layer it or part it is inevitably going to look completely different on me. What can I do? I promised I'd style this wig on camera, but now that I'm here and thinking about it, there isn't much that I could do. And I also don't want to like play with it as a test prop either, because a lot of times with like wigs, the more you mess with them, the more you're like fiddling with them, changing the direction of the hair strands, the weaker the knots become. Like the weaker the weft gets, or the net, because you gotta remember, like it's practically like sewn in, you know. So it obviously isn't like strong like a hair on your head with the hair follicle that's, like implanted in your skin through your epidermis. Not to mention as well the difference of what a wig will look like against your complexion versus the complexion of if you're utilizing like a doll head or a uh, wig, what is it called? A wig holder, like it's a doll head, but it's specifically for wigs. Um, and then I also have a ski mask on this mannequin, so it's like the contrast. I can't actually see how it would uh, blend into my hairline, or blah, blah, blah. And this is the reason people shouldn't say things that they don't mean, because then things like this happen. Hiccups. Um, okay, how about I do this for y'all? I will give you a analysis of the wig condition like I was giving a consultation. So, it's actually kind of funny as well. The wig color is very, very, very close in color to the hair on this mannequin already. Um, that's why I was kind of like stuck for a second, because I'm like, did I already show you guys this wig? And I didn't. All I remember was yesterday I had braided. Oh, by the way, yeah, I I was filming this between 2 days because I was too tired to film the part dos. Um, but anyways, I was like, did I already show you guys this wig? And I was like, wait a minute, no, because all I remembers was I braided down for straight back cornrows, and then I believe on camera I placed the wig cap for the prep for this mannequin. Funny because between then and the time that I installed this one, I had borrowed her wig cap and then found another one for her to have on underneath the ski mask. So, anyways, yeah, I won't be styling this wig on camera today, but I can tell you that the bottom, the ends, they look and feel like the consistency of a bird's nest slash tumbleweed. That's a little bit exaggerated, but it is very thin. It's very dry, I don't even want to say coarse because it's still soft, but it does feel like there's some friction. It does feel like there's a lot of breakage. You could even see the breakage if you actually look. You could see all the flyaways, all the split ends. You could literally see how like thin it is. You could look through and look at my tattoos through an entire layer of hair. Um, I'm thinking the best course of action is straightening this wig and then seeing what I could do about a trim and reshaping the front part, because like I had said, there's a lot of patches, and there is a lot of like glue, but also flyaway hairs, like short strands, not like baby hairs, like when people try to cut bangs on themselves and then they just have a weird patch of short hair, or a random patch of short hair. So maybe I will maybe I will restyle the front of the wig and then record the hair straightening process and the trim. Because I also think that there's a lot of plucking that I could do um, to kind of blend the hairline. Trust me, it's like taking an old beat rundown car to your mechanic, right? With a failed transmission and maybe like a not so good engine, halfway dead battery. Maintenance is possible. You could totally restore it, but you just need some elbow grease, you know? You need time, attentiveness, and most of all, you need materials. I don't really need to get any more beauty supplies other than maybe a heat protectant, and I also wanted to get like a hair protectant for um, installing extensions, wigs, and like bundles, but that could wait. Anyways, yeah, so the mission is on hold for this wig, but I also have that 40-inch chocolate um, tangled wig for y'all, and that one is getting shaved down. It's getting a trim, it's getting detangling, and it's getting a completely new hairstyle because 40 inches of synthetic hair on a wig is absolutely preposterous, fucking ridiculous. And honestly, literally let it fall the wrong way once. All the detangling you did for that section, gone. Never mattered. Didn't happen. So yeah, that is in store. And, and maybe this could be the new routine. Some hairstyling videos for y'all who actually enjoy learning about how to take care and maintenance your hairdos. Could give you some new ideas. Who knows? Maybe I will even include some like uh, poster board images or I don't know, cool hairstyles or like ideas. Just because, you know? I could do like barbershop fun facts or I don't know. It'll it'll progress. We'll get there. Don't even trip. Anyway, so thank you so much for watching. This is Sincerely Sai, hashtag PrettyFknPsycho, also known as Ali ASMR. I could really choose an alias, but honestly, they all sound so great because they're my creation. I don't want to give them up. I don't want to give them up. And if you haven't already, go ahead and like, subscribe, and tell your friends about the video. If you have an ignorant friend who thinks she's a hairstylist and you think my videos might help, send them to her or him. Send them, send my videos their way. True. Leave a comment, suggestion, or even something you liked and disliked about the video if you'd like. And hopefully y'all stick around long enough to watch the channel progress and stay here with me until I can monetize my videos and film way better quality content for y'all. Uh, that concludes this video. Thank you so much for joining me here and listening to me ramble.